Happy Wednesday. What a Wednesday it's going to be here, July 24th. It's an amazing day. You know what? Today is my birthday. I didn't say that before you came on because today is my birthday. Yes, it is. I completed another trip around that burning ball of gas in the sky. And so here we are, my birthday.
Nice.
Who am I am Rob Fenstermaker, former corporate burnout survivor turned kingdom builder. Your kingdom builder. What do? I help get out of the rut. You know what? We all get on this journey a lot. For many, when life happens, there's a guarantee life is going to happen. They get off that course, and for some, get stuck in that rut. I tell them the only difference between a rut and a grave is steps and destinations. So don't take what you want to do the rest of your life to the grave with you. I help you to empower to get out of that rut. Hey, this Friday is the virtual Friday whiskey hour. I hold it every other Friday. It's a great opportunity to bring our work week to close, where we just have some meaningful conversation. We've had some meaningful conversations well, I can't even talk today. What's the greatest generation? How can we manifest our future? Those things like that. And you know what? There's no requirement to drink whiskey. Just stop by and enjoy the conversation. Next Tuesday is the Iron Sharpens Iron community, another community I'm trying to create. We've tried to get this year where we just bring people together and have some conversations. But enough about that. It's time for me to introduce today's guest. It's Kris with the K Soderberg. Who is Kris? Well, he is a premier dadpreneur. He's a coach. He helps you cultivate your confidence and build new success habits. Kris, I'm so glad to have you here at the Imperfect Action live stream. And I know we're both, I'm in South Florida, you're in Arizona, so both feeling the heat right now in this hot summer we've got going. I'm sure it's very hot out there in Arizona.
It's very, very hot. Thank you for having me on, Rob, and thank you for having me on for your birthday. So happy birthday, brother. So I appreciate you for doing the work you do.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So after a while, those days become another day. We're no longer milestone birthdays. They're just another day. It's just, all right, whatever. I think, once you cross 21, I think that's the last milestone birthday for most young men. That's it. Like, all right, I'm definitely firmly ensconced in manhood now, so it's time to get on my life. So it is what it is. So the founder of Iron Influence, I love that term, Iron Influence. I shared with you my Iron Sharpens Iron community, Iron Influence. I love that. I love the term. I love the word iron because it just signifies so many different things, so many machinations, the ways we envision things. What got you stepped into this idea of Iron Influence?
Yeah. What got me to step into the influence component around my life was finding people that were going to influence me and taking that journey on my own and finding both coaches and mentors. And a lot of people get those mixed up, and coaches are really around to keep you accountable, right? Make sure that you say what you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. That's why we have a coach for basketball, soccer, that kind of thing. And mine was a soccer coach. And he taught me that the little things in my life were the things that got the results. And as you start seeing like businesses grow and people grow, often those little tiny changes, those little tiny things, those little things that they do in their life, whether they're personal or professional, those things are the things that stack up. It's not these big, massive movements. It's not these big investments. And yes, those do happen on occasion. But when you see amazing sports players or amazing mentors or amazing business owners, they make little tiny changes and then they go, oops, if they messed it up, or do that again, it made money, right? So this is the truth that I look to show people, and the truth I do that through coaching dadpreneurs. So I look to help visionary fathers to move into the spaces for the entrepreneurial world. Now, usually I work with successful entrepreneurs who are trying to find that balance between family and a successful business, right? And the task of learning the habits to build a successful business are not always the same habits for getting back to your family and embracing them and being at peace at home. So when I help them, I'm helping them not only cultivate confidence, but how do you get new success habits that create that confidence on a day-to-day basis? And then how do you use your network and the people around you and grow that so that it does become the place that really feeds not just your company, but your family and your life. So,
as a father myself, and I have 2 adult children, one never happens. As they age, the relationship definitely changes. but you never stop being your father. And there were definitely times back when my children were younger, when I needed other people within my network, one, to help me in a way that I needed to, because things were going on. I mean, like I said, life happens. Definitely is going to happen to us, and it, definitely happened to my family on several instances. When you had network of support, make life makes those events much easier to get through. As you indicated, and the we have business networks every bit as important as the person. Maybe spend too much, maybe focus on one over the other. And you're never going to have a perfect 50-50 now. But you have to give both and personal network and social. You have to give them attention. There's different ways to what you do.
Yeah, it was hard to hear you.
Same thing. Same thought.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just saying, the person, your business network. Yeah, you have to be intentional in how you build the network.
Yeah, you have to be intentional with how you build your network, and you don't have to network with everyone. So the thing that I help my clients, and maybe this is something that the people that are watching this really is the key of, who do you actually serve in your business, and what is the actual service that you provide, right? So or want to provide, like this, and this comes from a talent space. I see so many entrepreneurs use their passion to try to build a stream of income. And it should be, I build a stream of income so I can do my passion. And then eventually the passion will probably have some revenue coming off of it. If you don't use your talents to build your passion or to fund your passion, you're going to be stuck in the swamps of sadness for all intents and purposes, because you're just not pulling from your strengths. So I always look through my clients' eyes at, hey, what are your actual talents? What are the things that you've been paid for in the past? Whether that's your job, whether that's your skill set, whether it is maybe something that you picked up because you have 10,000 hours or 50,000 hours or something from a hobby. And a hobby that became a talent can be a talent. It doesn't necessarily have to be not a passion. And when I get them to focus on those things, and then we implement those in the business that they're trying to grow, right, everything just jumps. Now, the next part is, okay, the things that you're not talented at, you should be probably hiring somebody to help you with that. You should not be doing them on your own. This is kind of the key. So when I start doing coaching with people, it's really about getting clear on which way we're going and taking all the noise out and getting a really thin line of, like, this is the stuff that I do. These are the people that I help. So everyone I network with knows who to send me. And everybody that goes to a networking event, and you know this, Rob, and probably everybody on here has had this, goes, hey, Rob, what do you do? And somebody goes, I'm a real estate agent. And you go, that's great. You're like the 10th person I met this week that's a real estate agent. Who do you serve? Like, who's your favorite client? They go, oh, everyone. That doesn't help anyone. That doesn't help me. But if I say I'm a dadpreneur coach and I help visionary fathers who are looking at their W-2 and their company that they're building and trying to get both of those to work in harmony, as well as be a good dad, partner, provider, and a father, and I'm going to help you get those skills, help that get you that confidence, help move through your network and actually grow that with you so that you can be a better father, a better partner, a better provider. Right. At the end of that, you should know at least 2 dads that are at least maybe thinking about entrepreneurship or have a business and they're struggling, or have a business that's thriving, they want to go to the next level. And you go, Kris should talk to them. You know who I should talk to in your network. That's what I help people do. Cut through all that stuff so you get this really nice, clean line of people that are coming to you. And if you have churn, if you have people that you talk to that don't sign up for your services, and you get on call after call after call, and they're not taking the bait, they're not taking the thing that you have to offer that you really want to help people with, you have a messaging problem. Real straight and simple, right? So if I help you clean that up, let's get off the race.
You got to provide value. You got to provide value to them in a way that they're, they're kind of like, Yeah, I mean, the art of networking is you got to have a lot of conversations, and I kind of enjoy the conversations because
Yeah,
I can be a very curious person in just wanting to know what's going on in somebody's life, and I've always had that curiosity. I think
absolutely.
you know it's been said that you got to have that curiosity of a young child because you're a father, I'm a father. You're young, they're asking those why
Why?
because they're curious and they just want the answers. And
Yeah,
part of networking is just trying to find those answers as well, and
yeah, absolutely.
define what is you got to find that fit. And you can circle back what you said about the real estate agent. You client, everyone's my client. Okay. You go through that
Yeah,
process in the business trying to please everyone. You please no one. So you got to know who it is you want to please.
yeah,
You got to know who it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Well, then it also cleans up when you are networking, and this is like the big piece. It's like now you find people in your network that speak like you. They're driven like you. They're focused. Those people start to become part of what I like to call a mastermind of people that are around you. Now, you're not in a mastermind with them, but you can start to be. And then everyone
Mhm.
else that doesn't fit the profile of somebody that you want to be around or isn't growing like you can network them to other people in your
Yeah.
network and give them value through providing them through your network. And then someone else will find them, right? If it's a guy who
Yeah.
wants to do real estate deals and he's a real estate agent, get him to the guy that does marketing, get him to the guy that does finance, get him to the guy that does something else
Yeah.
that may provide value to him because you got to know him, right? And when you get to know the people that are in your network and you serve them, you eventually start to get really clear on your message. You get to clear on who you're serving, and then you also get more traction when you are serving those people.
Yeah.
It's
So let me
really
get your
simple.
take on this. I've gone to some networking events, and the people that are leading, we're not here to pitch our business. And I was thinking, well, then what am I here for? We're here to build
Yeah,
a relation. Okay, well, been part of me landing a client, building a relationship. Is that part? But there's some networking events I've been to. They're adamant you cannot. Let
yeah,
me get take on that. I mean, how do you
yeah.
feel if you go to an event like that?
Well, this is part of the net or the verbiage, right? So when I tell people what I do, I'm not saying I can help you.
Yeah, right.
I'm just not. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you should come work with me. What I am saying, and that's where the pitch comes from, right? What I am saying is
Mm-hmm.
when you have an issue and let's just say I'm talking to a woman and she's at a networking event. This is a pretty common thing. She goes, "Oh, you should meet my husband." I go, "Okay, tell me about what he does." Well, he just doesn't want to stop playing video games. I was like, "Cool, that's not who I help." I mean, I'm not going to say that out loud. I'm going to say, "What
Yeah.
do you think he needs help with?" "Oh, he just needs to be more focused." I was like, "Okay, have you tried anything?" Like I'm trying to go into consultation mode to figure out if I can connect them to anyone, right? Is there a video games anonymous or a real estate investors anonymous, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. When I go to a networking event, I'm not, the pitch is me. I'm the brand,
Yeah.
right? When they say pitch, go, "Oh, we're doing these services for 50% off because it's in July, it's Christmas in July or whatever," right? That's what they don't want. And nobody
Yeah.
wants that actually, right? Nobody wants to
Right.
go
Well,
to a
I
networking
agree.
event and have that. So I was
Yeah.
talking with the gentleman the other day. I was going to an event for one of my friends, and I walked into the lobby, and he said, "Oh my gosh, you're the guy." And I was like, "I guess maybe I am the guy. Wait, who am I? Who do you think I am?" Right? And he goes, "Oh, you're Kris with a K." And I was like, "Okay, I've never met you." And he goes, "I've been waiting to meet with you. You're always swarmed with people." And I go, "Okay, uh, well, hi." And the lobby's empty. I haven't even entered the event yet. Everybody just went in, and he's got my full attention now. And we start talking,
Yeah.
and he's a dad, and he's got 3 kids running around. And I go, "You know what? Like, tell me about you, man." That's the pitch. If
Mm-hmm.
they can tell me about them, and I know that I can help them, then hey, let's talk offline. Here's my Zoom. Let's
Yeah.
put something on the calendar right now. Right now. He doesn't even
Yep.
know what I do anymore. Yet we haven't even talked about that. All I know is I know that he has some things that I can help him with. If I keep talking over him and don't let him talk and tell him what I do, instead of being curious and asking him what he does and how it's going and what's going on with business, then I genuinely know about who I can connect them to, A, and B, can I help them? That's my pitch. Listening.
Yeah.
You do that more, guess what? You're going to have more qualified leads and calls with people who actually you can help. Because that's all we want.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be on Zooms 200 times in a month to get one new client. That's crazy. And then we're not talking about pricing and those kind of things, and that comes after, right? But if your services are for a specific avatar and you're not having conversations with those people because you get stuck at a table that somebody wants to tell you their life story, right? I can teach you how to get out of those conversations. I've been in those. I've been like, hey, Rob, it was so great to meet you. I love your story. Can we focus on Dr. Sal now? I'd love to hear what he has to say. And that person kindly stopped talking. And guess what? He left. He just flat up didn't say goodbye. He just left. And I was like, he was telling me about his farm and his cows and his kid. And I thought he was getting to a point, and then he just kept talking. I was like, do you get out of the house very much? I mean, and this happens to everyone. And I'm not shaming him. What I'm saying is that it's a very common occurrence for people to just have verbal diarrhea. I've done it.
Yeah.
I'm totally guilty of holding people hostage that way, right?
Well, there you go.
Right? So when you get really clean about your message, guess what? Then you just stop talking.
You get very clear. You're very clear, and you're very concise. And
Does that answer your question
now? I think people, we're all selfish, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. We're all selfish because we all care about what's going on in our lives. And for most of us, if we have some kind of pain point, we just either just press it and ignore it, or we're tired of ignoring it. We want to get rid of it. We want somebody to help us, to show us the way to get rid of that pain point, get out of that rut of what we're creating. And you can speak into that. That's how you land clients. That's how you get really clear on what your message is. And to me, what I have discovered, it comes through the art of listening. And I've been in some of those meetings where, like you said, somebody just wants to talk over me, and I'm just like, right, whatever. There's no connection there. Absolutely no connection. No connection whatsoever. It's building a network, like you said. It's been a network for a lifetime. And I would say that with relationships, all relationships fall into three categories, three at least. And maybe see if you agree with this: a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And if you look at all your relationships, they're going to fall in one of those three categories. The reason, maybe it's business related. You're just doing that for business. Okay. The season, maybe it's a client and they've hired you for 6 months. That season's over and they're satisfied and they're moving on. Well, lifetime, most of those are familiar relationships, but we also have those people that connected with, maybe back in college that we still stay with. And those are lifetime friends. Those lifetime relationships, personal and business. And you got to really assess where that relationship you're dealing with falls into those categories.
Mm-hmm. I always say that it's not a different version of those. I think it's a subcategory of the lifetime component, where in your head you're like, this person fills me up. This person sees me.
Yeah.
And I do everything in my power to make sure that they know that they're seen and heard.
Mm-hmm.
And they reciprocate, right?
Yeah.
It is the classification of someone who is like, I'm on this journey and I want you to go with me, right? I'm not saying that they're your equal. I've met people who are not my equal, who are definitely in that mode. They're like calling me forward, calling me up, right? And these have been mentors, right? Same kind of thing with a coach, right? A coach can be a little bit like that, but generally you're transacting at that point, right? So can that grow into something? Sure, but you shouldn't expect it to, and definitely you shouldn't require it. Part of networking is knowing yourself, right?
It is. I agree.
Discernment of where am I at? Where am I going? Who am I helping? What's the problem I'm fixing? How am I serving those people? Those are some big key things to get ahead of, because if you're unfulfilled in a W-2 and you're making a lot of money, it's not the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know lots of people who are making not a lot of money and who are completely and utterly happy.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's you, if you don't have any pain points, you're not going to change. And the pain points that you're looking for come through self-discovery. So
Yeah.
I subscribe to the essentialist like philosophy around how do
Okay.
you do the thing you're supposed to do. And if you eliminate the non-essential, then what you're left with is the vital few things that you need to do for yourself or for others that provide the ended result that you're looking to provide, right? So think of it
Yeah.
like dog food for my dog. I love my dog. I give her dog food. She doesn't like it, right? I pour on a little bit of juice from a salmon tin. She goes bananas. It's that essential, vital thing that she was waiting for, right? So when we look at other people that we're trying to serve that are in our network or trying to serve that are in our family, the question is really, have you listened to them enough and gotten enough information to serve them? Or is it someone that you want to serve? Like there are toxic people, great, yes. And you can still be loving and considerate of them. You don't necessarily have to have them around all the time, but you can do the thing that allows you to have more capacity, more time. So the essentialist says, you know what? I love you. And it's okay for me to not go to that thing because of a boundary that I'm holding up, because I really don't want to put myself in that situation because I'm taking care of me. So I go to a networking event, and if it doesn't feel good, I'm out. If I only want to talk to a couple of people, great.
I hear you.
If I'm there all night, great. You know, so I'm listening to my gut a lot more than I was in the past, where I'd be the guy that was there before everybody showed up, and the guy that left when they closed the doors. I was that guy. I've done that before. It's exhausting. I want to be around people. I want to help people that want to be helped, and the people that don't want to be helped, I love them. I'll get their number. I'll invite them to something. I'll give them, an invite someplace else so that they can, work on their skills.
You can't. Yeah, you agree. You can't help you can't help
Yeah.
everybody. And I'm at a stage in my life right now where the people I want to invest my time in, either very experiential, or they take to another level.
Yeah.
Elevate me to another level. And those are the people I want to invest my time. Because, to me, time is our most valuable asset. There's one thing that we have that once it's gone, we're never getting it back. Never getting that one back.
Yeah.
You lose all your money, you can get that back. You lose your house, you're getting that, you can get that back. Shoot, you can even lose your life and get that back. Time's once it's gone, it's gone forever. So I'm very intentional how I spend my time. And you said a mouthful. One of the things I've seen people when they have those pain points, and they get comfortable in that pain. They get even though they're miserable. That's kind of like their safety blanket almost. And because the fear of change just cripples them. And until they get past that pain of the same. Or when pain of same sees the pain of change, that's when they take action. And getting them into that space, sometimes some people are never going to get in space. And all right, okay,
Yeah. That's an interesting point. Yeah. Where do you find the most the most change happens for people in with that pain? Like, what's the pain that gets them to move that you see most often?
To me, it's the thing that they get so tired of being sick and tired. They've had enough. And they finally, they've had that wake up moment, whatever it may be. Maybe a relationship end. Maybe they lost a job. Maybe they got some kind of they went to the doctor and they been diagnosed with some type of disease. Whatever. They have that tipping point where it just enough is enough, and I got to do something. It could be anything. Maybe they, stepped on the scale and they were like, "Good grief! I put on 65 pounds in the last 12 months. Where'd that happen?" You sat on the couch every night, Netflix and a Costco-sized bag of potatoes. That's how it happened.
Yeah. So you find that's a loss, like that they're coming to the table with. Yeah. their loss of health, loss of wealth, loss of family, loss of friends, loss of life, loss of, confidence, this kind of
Could be
thing.
anything.
Yeah.
Could be anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
finally had that, come to Jesus moment or that wake up moment where something's finally happened, and they finally have, clicked out of that stupor that they've been in.
Yeah.
And they're like, I got to do something now. The reality is, and some people will believe, well, I'm here, I can never. But if you start taking action, you can get to where you want a lot quicker than where you got to where you're at. It may have
Yeah.
taken you years and years and years to get to that position, but if you start acting on it, yeah, it's not going to be over. It's not going to be overnight, but you're going to start seeing progress pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. I find
if
that
you're intentional about it.
if you're intentional, absolutely. Yeah. And the intentionality of habit change, and part of the coaching that I do is habit fitness, right? And it's not just getting to a new habit. It's learning how to do the process of earning and learning new habits continuously, right? One new habit's great.
Yeah.
1,000 is even better. And the two major things that I see people getting stuck on is that they try to change too many things at once. They get frustrated and they quit.
Mhm.
So it's, this job isn't working, I'm going to take on 2 jobs, right? Or I'm going to take on a new job, a brand new job, right? So you go through this
Yeah.
process of saying, oh, wait, why am I not being successful at the thing I'm supposed to be successful at? I was successful before. What changed, right? Instead of doing a triage, they try to charge off and do something else. And
Yeah.
I find that there are a couple big pieces, and one of them is coaching and perspective.
Mhm. Yeah.
So with perspective is that thing that everybody goes, oh, how do I get perspective? Where they go, okay, nobody's walked the path with me before. Well, that's where when you get a coach, you want somebody who has the results that you're looking for, and you
Mhm.
approach them to say, hey, can you help me get those same results? Would you be willing to
Yeah,
show
and
me?
yeah,
So
you got
yeah,
to be invested to the process as well. Like I said, it's not an overnight. It's not going to be there's no such
yeah,
thing as an overnight success. And the
right,
people that we think were overnight successes, yeah, well, we didn't see all the months and
yeah,
years they put in to get to there.
yeah,
But you got to be willing to do the work. You got to do the
sure,
work. That's the thing.
sure,
And when you start doing the work, that's when you realize your potential. That's when you realize that, hey, I can do this. I can do this. And it's just pushing boundaries each and every day,
yeah,
each and every opportunity you get. Just push those boundaries and just push a little bit more. And I know it's it's a cliche, but you got to push through it. And if you really want to generate what it is you want to accomplish.
yeah, yeah. Any good thing that ever came from hard work, right? And it doesn't have to be hard in that it's a struggle.
Right.
It means that you put in the work, right? And
Put in
everybody
the
uses the
work.
word hard or the word, oh, this is difficult. And well, it took you time and difficult to get there. I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
drive to Costco. You gotta buy a lot of potato chips. You have to
Yeah.
say no to a lot of other things to sit on a couch for
Yeah.
that many hours, right? So
Yeah.
you've done work to get to where you're at, if that's where you're at. And if you're at someplace and you don't
It-
like where you're at, let's figure out where you want to go and let's chart a plan, right? Chart a
yeah.
course, right? And do that with someone that's
Yeah.
going to be like,
Because
let's go.
life is too short to be miserable. Life is just too short to be miserable each and every
Yeah,
day. It
yeah,
is. And I've seen those people. I've worked with those people when I was in corporate. They were miserable every flipping day. It's like, come on,
yeah,
dude. Maybe this is not a place for you. I mean, just go find someplace else. It's not the end of the world if you leave here.
yeah.
Either
So
figure it
with
out, go find something new.
So question then, when you were going through and you're getting coaching, and as a coach, your coaches now, tell me about like how they're impacting your life. Like what are you like growing in right now with them?
Yeah, how am I being impacted as a coach? Yeah, I mean, I've had clients that yes, I'm coaching them, but they're coaching me because I'm listening to
Sure.
them. I'm like, okay, you get different perspectives because we're all unique.
Yeah.
We're not a bunch of sheep. We're all unique. And when you're listening to other people what they're going through, um, you got to be empathetic. You got to really embrace empathy. So that's one thing that has really served me quite well, and served me very well. Kind of circling back to we started this as a father with a daughter. My oldest is a daughter. And as empathy is maybe not necessarily something that comes natural to a lot of men. Definitely doesn't come natural to me. I didn't grow up in an empathetic family by any means.
Yeah.
And my wife, she's definitely an empath, and she grew up. Her mother was very empathetic, so she understood it. And I realized that if I would be a better husband to my wife and a better father to my daughter and my son, I had to understand what empathy is about. And I really learned how to exercise that muscle. And I do it with my clients too. I'm empathetic. I'm not, well,
Yeah.
we all have a story. And, some people confuse empathy with sympathy, and that they're nothing alike. Empathy is you're
Right.
putting yourself in that person's shoes, and you're feeling their pain, or you're feeling their joy, or you're feeling whatever. Sympathy is where you're really kind of making about yourself. Oh, I'm sorry
Right.
going through that. Well, that's sympathy. No, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Empathy is where you feel someone's pain, or you feel someone's joy. You feel their emotions. That to me is what I enjoy most about what I do is feeling those emotions that my clients feel, because I can tap
Gotcha.
into it.
Yeah. Cool. Where do you find your clients get the most traction? Like, what part of your process helps them get the most
I'm
traction?
sorry.
And
Ask that question again. I'm getting a little
yeah,
static here. Ask that
where
question again.
yeah, where do you find your clients get the most traction from your coaching or growth, momentum, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think they get to. I challenge them. I mean, I'm going to challenge you. I mean, I've got the I've always been that guy that I can get in your face, or put my arm around your shoulder, but I will challenge you. I'm not going to. Well, I was an army officer. Okay, so you learn not to take a lot of crap from people. You got to know what it is. You got to know your truth. You got to know what it is that's going to move the needle. And if I feel somebody's BSing me, hey, come on, let's it's in my first rodeo. And I will challenge them on that. I want to challenge their way of thinking. I want to challenge the words they use. I want to challenge what they think of themselves, to really dig deep. That's the important thing. I really want them to dig deep and understand their truths. Because you got to
Hmm.
understand your truths. I don't care what you're doing in life. You got to know your absolute truth, because we live in a very fluid world, and things change. Things can change on a dime. And if you
Mhm.
don't know your solid truths, you're going to be taken away by wherever life's taking you.
Right.
And you're going to end up somewhere.
Hmm.
And if you don't know your truths, maybe you're going to end up at that place you don't want to be. So if you know your truths, you can end up at the place you want to arrive. And I think it's what's important, because I think many people just believe something as everybody else believes it, and they don't want
Hmm.
to. They don't want to rock the boat, I guess. They don't
Hmm.
want to stand out. But we're all unique. That's the thing. It's our
Yeah.
uniqueness that forces us to stand out. Embrace your
Yeah.
uniqueness. Embrace.
Yeah. Hmm.
You've got a
Okay.
unique look. I've got a unique look, and I embrace it. I've had people challenge me. I'm like, hey, I don't care. This is who I am. That's your brand. This is my brand. And I think that idea of the brand we want to protect. That's what's important as well. And always be that same person. Be authentic. Be that authentic same person.
Yeah.
Don't be um, a certain person in a certain working event and somewhere, a different person in another event, because you're going to call it out. You're absolutely going to get called out.
Yeah. Part of the process that I go through with myself is really saying, does that align with me? Right? Does that align with who I am? And so when if I'm out with people networking and I ask them, what do you do? And we start talking about what their services or maybe the people that they serve are. So, cool. How did you find that group of people? And the intentionality, if it's there, they go, oh, I had an experience with X and now I do this because of Y. Right? They're serving people like themselves. And I think the beauty in entrepreneurship is being in a business that you choose because the people that you serve had something or have a problem that you've either fixed for yourself or know how to fix for them. And whether it's air conditioning and HVAC or real estate or people that do MLMs, amazing. Like these people serve at a very high level. They have successful businesses, right? So that's the key. So when you actually say, okay, who do I serve? Then it's really easy to build a network of growth and momentum that really shines outside of what you're doing at a personal level. It also makes you a lot more, I think, vibrationally active and aware for other people in a networking environment, right? So you're there and your presence is very strong. So you're going to attract other people to you. I mean, part of the father piece, when you start looking at confidence, when you start looking at new success habits, those things branch right over, right? If you're doing them for your business, you're going to start doing those things at home, right? If you start doing a new habit every quarter and you stop a habit every quarter and you continue doing a habit every quarter, you're working on 2 to 3 different habits. If you do that every 6 months, every 3 months, and you get 4 new amazing habits and you stop 4 not so great habits, that's a big win. I don't know a lot of people who can even say that that's even a challenge that they've taken on. And when you do that process and you go through that type of thing, you want someone to follow you along that journey. Everybody needs a Sam Wise Gamgee. Everybody needs a Frodo. Everybody needs a friend to go on a crazy journey like that. And when you band together as a community, right, as a network, now you're not just going on a journey with one person as a coach. Your coach is going to be like, hey, tell me about your network. Help me with your network, right? Let's get into the people that you know and help them be accountable to you as well. Let's take them along. Let's do it as a group.
I like it. Right? I like it. Everybody needs Frodo because Lord of the Rings. That's I really am a Lord of the Rings geek. And my wife and I, friends of ours, we're traveling New Zealand here at the end of the year. And my wife and her girlfriend never seen the movie Lord of the Rings. So next Friday we're going to get together with them and watch the first one. And I've loved Lord of the Rings. It's a fantastic. It's the best story. It's just an amazing story. But it's that story of the journey, that story of life. Because all our lives are stories, and story is static. There's always things being added to that story. There's diversions. There's this. There's that. And being curious at life. That's adding more of that story. The idea of inviting people into your invite. When someone invites you into their life or into the network, what kind of transpires with it?
Interesting question. When working in someone else's network, right? Networks are what people have made them up until that point. So what I find is that if I'm talking with somebody as a potential client or we're talking at a networking event, I said, who do you know that you talk to on a regular basis who knows your job title? Mm-hmm. And they go, oh, this person, that person. I go, great, cool. Do they understand who you serve on a day-to-day basis? Like the type of client that comes through your door? And they're like, no. I say, great. That means that no one in your network is helping you in your business. And they go, like it starts hurting after a while, right? So this is about open communication to the people that you want to serve. These are people in your network. These are people that you talk to. Now, everybody goes, well, Aunt Ginny doesn't want to buy my services as an HVAC guy. She lives in Ohio. She doesn't live in Florida. And I go, great. Who does Aunt Ginny know in Florida? And what you find out is through some stuff that I can help you do is have a conversation with her about what's going on with her. Find out about her life. And you might find out that she knows a guy that works in HVAC that scaled his business and you need to know that guy.
Yeah.
And he's in his late 60s, and he's retiring, and he's exiting his company for $20 million. That's a guy you want to talk to. That's a mentor you need to find. It may not be a monetary thing, but if you're not going through your network and talking to your people that you know that like and trust you, you are missing an entire opportunity to have a conversation around how to help them, how to serve them, and then ultimately how to get connected to other people. So the story about networking for me is I was about 14 or 15, and my dad was like, cool, you're going to start working and jobs and that kind of stuff. And he said, wear a suit and bring a notepad. And this is back when yellow notepads were the thing. And I had a little leather binder, and he goes, I'm going to teach you how to network. I was like, cool, like business stuff. Yeah, right, Dad. So we got into this conversation, and he said, networking is not about asking for something from someone else. If you think everyone you talk to needs your service, we need to have a conversation about that. Because it's not true. It's just patently not true. If you walk into a networking event thinking that people are going to buy something because you show up and you've got the best pitch, no. What's going to happen is if your message is correct about who you serve, they will want to buy. That's it, period. This is why people online who have amazing followings have amazing sales, because the people that they're attracting want to buy the thing that they're selling. Whether it's views or money, that's how it works. So my dad taught me, you're going to take these phone numbers of these really cool people that I know that are in my network. And my dad handed me a list of phone numbers, and he started telling me about them. I started taking notes. We've got a VP of Lockheed Martin. We've got a person over at Raytheon. We got a guy that works over at Medtronic. You're going to call these people, and I don't know what VP stands for. I have no idea. I'm 15, right? And he's like, you're going to call them. You're going to set up a meeting. I'm going to take you there, and you're going to do this one thing. You're going to say, I want to learn about you and how you got to where you're at. And then I want to be connected to 2 or 3 people that you know that would help grow my network.
Yeah, that's cool.
And within about 2 conversations, so this guy that I met 2 people, and then I met 2 more people from those people, and all of a sudden we got 8 or 9 or 10 people. One of those people was like, you got some pretty brass ones for coming in here and talking to me. You like a job? I got a job for you, right?
Yeah.
You get opportunity through actually being thoughtful, listening, like you mentioned before, and listening is that key, and then asking for something in return for time.
Right?
So every interaction, you should be walking away a better person, a more connected person, or someone that you're able to monetarily help.
Exactly.
Through what you're
doing. And everybody can provide that opportunity for you. I mean, I was able to get jobs through connecting with an admin. I remember one job in particular, I connected with the admin, and she got me the interview, which landed me the job. And you got to be intentional about it.
It's who you know, right? And it's how
Don't
do you know
diminish people just because of their position.
No, never. I've met plenty of couples and people that are together in amazing relationships who met through very strange circumstances because they gave so much when they met them. They were just so kind and generous and thoughtful and listened and this kind of thing. So anyway, yeah.
So you kind of touched on it there, growing that network, monetizing your network. I mean, we really touched a lot on that. And I think that people just want to make everything transactional, just rub me the wrong way. I've had those people that, they reach out to you and you think, okay, maybe there's something going on here. And, they invite you to something, you maybe kind of have to commit, but you're not certain you can do it. And when you're out there, then boom, they just go. I'm like, all right, well, to hell with you.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's going to be. I mean, didn't bother to follow up. The people just everything's transactional. They're no fun. I don't enjoy being around them. I don't think anybody does. You can see right through them. There's people that are genuine, and like I said, the word curiosity. That's a word that has just been on my mind for the past several days. Curiosity. I get in these with words, and a couple weeks ago was manifestation. This week was curiosity, and Sometimes I gotta be curious. Why is the word curiosity keep coming up to me right now? There's a reason. You gotta understand what it is, just like your network. You gotta understand, who you're connecting with, how network can grow. And I've heard said how's it go? Your network is your net worth. Hey, I think that there's something to that. There's something to
Yeah.
that.
Well, it's like your network is a garden. It's a garden of people. And if you only go out to the garden to pick something when you're hungry, but you don't do any of the watering, you don't do any of the weeding, you're going to walk out there to a whole bunch of snakes and rats. Like, you're not going to walk out there to fruits and vegetables or something that's going to give life, right?
Yeah.
And the people that are around you, who you're going to get information from, and I'm totally guilty of this as well, is letting your network kind of die on the vine. Yeah. And every once in a while, somebody from my old history will reach out to me, and you know what? They treat me like I treated them, and that's fair.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the greatest person back then, and I learned through some seriously hard lessons. So when you look at your network, it should be with this love and peace of saying, I'm here to serve, but I'm also here to find the people I can serve. Right. And the service can be networking them to somebody else if you can't help them. And there are people you can help. And then there are people that when you get clean about who you help and why you help them, it makes your life very simple. It makes your distance to having someone say yes to working with them very short if you're talking to the right people. Now, if you want to scale and make it huge, well, your messaging is the same. It's just you have to get automation involved, and that's a whole other animal. But there are people out there who are making a $10 million a year, and they want to go to 100 million. They need technology. They also need to get clear on who they're helping still, because the more people you help, the more diversified your client base becomes, right? So there's a reason why people that work on high-end luxury cars as a mechanic have luxury car people coming to them, because they use that SEO, they use that proper verbiage. But if they just say, I work on exotic cars, there's a big whole bunch. I don't know who to connect you to. I might know a guy that works in exotic cars too, that says, I only work on Lamborghinis. I'm a Lamborghini specialist. Well, heck yeah, now if I meet anybody driving a Lamborghini, I go, hey, do you have a guy? So this is kind of that conversation. So how do you grow and monetize it? You have to know who you're looking for.
Yeah, and it's just and like I say, it can get overwhelming. I mean, as your network grows, it can get overwhelming. It really can, and I feel a little overwhelmed with my network's a pretty decent size, and I try and do my best. I try and do my best, and I would make it a point is one thing to reach out. Let's make an initial attempt to reach out to everybody in my network. Just reach out, just whatever. Try and start that conversation. And some people take me up. A lot don't. And it's just fine. It's just fine. I get it. We're all busy. We're all got things going on in our life, and but you gotta be. That's something that,
Interesting.
I hear people say, "Oh, I'm an introvert. I can't know." I mean, do I do well in large crowds of people? No, I kind of tend to just maybe shy away a little bit. But one thing I realized, or that someone explains to me, they said that if you're an introvert, you feel really drained after that. And I don't feel drained. I just feel a little jazzed up. So I don't know that I'm necessarily an introvert. I just don't necessarily like being in large crowds of people. I don't know what that means, but that's just something, that I've under, I know my limitations, know my strengths, and try and stay within my strengths.
Yeah.
And avoid my weaknesses. When you live in your strengths, that's when, to me, that's when good things happen.
Yeah. Part of the service,
in my time in corporate, it was kind of the antithesis. They always focus on your weaknesses, and never, at least my experience, a lot of times they would focus on your weaknesses and maybe just kind of give a cursory glance at your strengths. And that's one thing that drove me nuts about corporate.
Yeah, nuts. So, you should be empowering your strengths to outpace your weaknesses. And find you a position where your weaknesses are gone and only your strengths are being, resonated. And this is really the key for truly networking. If you're a quiet person, and Rob, if you like hanging on the edges, guess what? You partner up with somebody who is the social butterfly who's going to push people to you. Mm-hmm. And then you go around and talk to all the social butterflies who are like that are not that are not social butterflies. You talk around to the people at the edge of the group, and you start inviting them into conversations. You get them a little bit closer to the center, right? So you start working together. And when I go out and I meet somebody that's like really cool, I'm like, hey, you guys talk. I'm going to introduce you to somebody that I know. Hold on, and I walk over and introduce them to you. Like, that's truly networking, right? This is another level, right? Once you're good with your message, let's go out and actually do it together. And let's go do it to the point where it's like, oh, I spent an hour and I met 3 people, and those 3 people are actually people who I can help. What? I've been to that group for 2 years. I've never met a dang person that I can help. Yeah, because you weren't clear on how you move through that room. You didn't have skill set to do that, right? So
yeah, it's a process. It's a process. Yes. You don't ask the girl to marry on the first date. It's a process.
Unless you're sure.
Unless you're Michael Scott. Unless you're Michael Scott. He would ask the girl to marry him on the first date. So
yeah. Hey, you know what? You got to be confident. So, we'll work on that too. But I love bringing that level of confidence to someone else's forefront so that they can just go after the things that they want with just this passion and peacefulness, as opposed to this crazy, frantic, frenetic thing. I want them to have this confidence and calmness to just go do the thing that they're doing. And then when they're done, they get to step away and go, I'm home. I'm with my kids. Let's get you your time back. Yeah. Let's get you your energetics back so you can have your energy to be at home and be with your partner. So.
Right. Well, we're coming up on it on time. If people want to reach out to you, this is your email address. That's probably the best way. You also gave me your phone number. So if you just want to text or call you, is that a way to reach out to you as well?
Yeah, just send me a quick text and say, hey,
perfect.
I saw you on the Imperfect Action live stream.
And if they want to jump on your calendar, your calendar, here's your calendar link. I'm assuming this is a complimentary call. Your first call is complimentary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn as Kris with a K. It's really easy to find me with a K. My logo.
I love that brand, Kris with a K. I love the brand, Kris with a K.
Yeah. Real easy to remember.
Parting wisdom before we call it a day here. Do you have any parting wisdom before we call it a day here?
The first one, it's a 2-parter. The first one is be kind to yourself. Give yourself some grace, right? I didn't know this stuff until my dad gave it to me. And the second one is you're not going to get anywhere without some, we'll just call it imperfect action. I like to call it messy action. That's what my wife calls it, and her coach calls it. Messy action, imperfect action gets you results. Even if you're not going in the right direction, you'll figure out real fast if you're going the wrong way, right? But give yourself some grace, right?
Yes.
And then go get after it.
Yeah. That's powerful. I love that. Give yourself some grace because, I'm sure it's true for me, and I'm sure it's probably true for you. The person I'm most hard on is me. And every day is I fight that battle, that 6-inch space between my ears to, to give myself those affirmations as go into the day, Pollyanna way, but to know that, hey, you can do this. You have it within you. You know what to do. You've been down this road before. Let's just get it done. Get it done.
Yeah. And then get a coach. Get somebody that you really love what their results are. You love what their life is. You love what they're doing. If you like people wearing vests, come talk to me. Like, right? If you want somebody to help you be accountable to your time, let's go. Let's go get some new stuff going and let's grow your business. So at the end of the day, take some action and call us. Let's get connected. And
take the action. Just take the action. So, take the action. That's the important thing. Just take action. That's important. And take some action this Friday's Virtual Fried Whiskey Hour. Some action and go ahead, stop on by. Who knows what we'll talk about? I usually Friday morning, I kind of figure out what we're going to talk about, kind of just shape the conversation around that. Next Tuesday is the Iron Sharpens Iron community. And why is that important? Because you know what? We have this conversation with others. We become sharp in what we want to accomplish. Yeah, like I said, today, July 24th, my birthday, I just completed another revolution around that burning ball of gas in the sky. I don't know how I'm going to spend the rest of my day. It's just me and the dog here. Life is traveling all week. So it's just the dog enough for today. So who knows what we're going to do? I don't know. I don't know what the day holds out for me. But hey, I have really enjoyed this conversation, Kris. You've definitely shared that idea of imperfect action. Do the action, people quit waiting for the perfect time, because the perfect time does not exist. If you're waiting for the perfect time, you're going to miss life. Just take imperfect action. Let's make this a great day. Hey, July's almost over. We're halfway through summer. Football season started today. I saw training camps open. I'm a big football fan, so football's almost here. Here we go, ready to roll. But hey, it's been a great conversation, Kris. Let's make this a great day, and peace out.
Yes. Cheers.